Ready?
Okay, awesome. Right. Hey everybody, my name is Samantha Bryant. I'm a sophomore in chemical engineering and I'm currently running for the position of secretary. So before I came to the University of Houston, I spent 2 years as editor-in-chief of a yearbook as well as president of a service organization that sent out monthly regional reports, did newsletters, as well as took care of minutes. So when I first came to U of H, after spending so much time in journalism, I was scared. I was like, am I going to make it as an engineering major? Am I going to get the GPA? What am I going to do? But after a whole year of laying low, that gets boring and I wanted to get involved. So the first thing I did last semester was join SHPE. And within 1 week, I already had an amazing mentor, an amazing community, and after a couple of months, I already feel that SHPE is really mi familia. So I want to use those skills of communication, leadership, organization, and design that I spent so long fostering and apply it to the secretary position. So I have 2 main points. First, the newsletter. What I would like to do is take all of those engineering updates, the hundreds that you get every single day that most of you probably throw out anyway, but have important scholarship information, deadlines, workshops, professional development, consolidate them and put them into the SHPE newsletter. So now you have one place to look. You get all of your SHPE updates weekly, and then at the bottom, you know where to get that scholarship information. You know exactly where to go, because the SHPE vision states that we want Hispanics to be the leaders of the STEM community. And what better way than to know exactly where to go? Second, the point system. I want to increase transparency, because I think that if you know you're 15, you're going to work just that much harder to get to the top 10, to go to nationals under sponsorship, to get those scholarships. And overall, I want to foster growth in SHPE in the same way that has fostered growth in me.
Can you name all the engineering majors in college?
Here at Colin? Okay, so we have chemical, which is what I am. We have mechanical, industrial, civil, electrical, and computer. And then mechanical. Industrial. Okay, so we have chemical and biomedical here, mechanical, industrial, electrical, computer, civil, and then
Does that help?
biomedical. Oh, sorry guys. Y'all are awesome.
How do you think communication and documentation is important to the organization?
Okay, well, one of the main things are minutes. So for example, if an officer does miss a meeting or something, we have clear documentation as to what went on, what we discussed, and what exactly they did miss. So just in that way, you're increasing communication just within the officers, which you need for an effective club, because they are the scaffolding of it. Next, you do need that documentation as well for newsletters. So having effective writing, effective descriptions, people will know exactly the information that they need, and it will be effectively communicated so they see it as well as engaging. So in these ways, you foster growth within SHPE, because people know exactly what they're getting into and why they want to.
All right, have the judges asked 2 questions?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's get the audience. Does anyone have any questions? Carla.
How do you plan to improve how the point system is set up already right now?
Okay, so right now I know that there's concern because it is on the Google Drive. So people, if they do get allowed access to that, then they can change up the formulas, not necessarily intentionally, but accidentally. So what I want to do is that every time it is updated, export it as a PDF and have that accessible to the club. Because I think it's incredibly important for people to know exactly where their points are, where they're coming from, and where they stand.
Mary?
I see here that you have a pretty good GPA, congrats on that. But your next semester, you're taking some difficult classes. How do you plan on managing your time next year elected as secretary?
Okay, every single semester that I've been here, I've taken 17 or 18 hours. This past semester, I took 17 along with research, TAing, and being a chef. This coming semester, I'm dropping the number of hours that I'm taking to either 12 or 15, depending on if I do get this position. So just in classes alone, I'll have a lot of more free time that I can apply to SHPE.
Andres, you had a question?
That was it?
That was it? Okay, we have time for one more. One more question. Bobby?
So we do get a lot of emails as engineers. How are you planning to make our newsletter pop out?
Okay, so I do have a lot of experience in design. Like I said, I spent 2 years as editor-in-chief. I'm familiar with Photoshop. I've made PowerPoints from scratch, and I don't mean little templates that are there, but from scratch on Photoshop. So I know how to make them engaging. I know how to utilize design to be eye-catching and make sure that people, if they have the thought, oh, I'm going to toss out this shit newsletter, instead they're like, oh man, I want to see what's next. I want to see what those PowerPoints look like because it will be that engaging.
All right, let's give her